as Omaha continues to grow, I don't want the chain companies or the big box stores to come in and totally thwart out all the little guys.
Yes.
Because when I started this, kind of the straw that broke the camel's back was some of my friends at the time hadn't heard of Ted and Wally's ice cream or La Casa Pizza or Dinkers or Petros.
Only Pizza Hut.
Poor Petros.
Cold Stone Creamery.
Right. And a lot of that was because they lived out in suburbia, out in their mile and a half, 2 mile radius, and didn't ever come to I guess you can call it the historic parts of the city, east of 72nd.
I know, right? I live right at 72nd.
You do live right on the cusp.
Actually, I'm just about 100 feet west of 72nd.
Right.
But I wanted to be in that area near Crossroads, and that's been kind of my dream. And hopefully, Lockwood Development, if you're watching this, my dream is that we actually let Crossroads be where we replicate actually some of those very mom and pop places. We actually create a second one in the city right there, or maybe they might feel like they relocate there. But the point is that let's make sure that doesn't become just a sterile franchise situation.
Sure. Right now it's sterile, not because there's franchises, but because there's nothing. And that's talking about the districts. That's something that I wish a new district would appear. Because I don't know if this is true, but by definition, 72nd and Dodge, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the busiest intersection in Omaha.
You're right.
So why?
It's second now. They just did the numbers. 90th and Dodge actually busier, but yes, it's very busy.
But why has nothing been done there? There's been plan after plan, apparently been shot down or then scrapped to fix something else. What would, this is something that we both said we needed to talk about going forward in this interview, what would you do for Crossroads? What you started touching on it, what specific businesses maybe would relocate, or what hands-on businesses could make it a walkable area for people? What would Marty Hosking, Keller Williams Realtor do for potentially the biggest next thing in Omaha?
I would love to. Even 15 years ago, I literally had nothing to do one day, and I drew up what I thought Crossroads should be.
Did you really?
Yes.
You still have that?
I'm looking for it in all my notes.
Okay.
I had a dream for it. And even then, I think certainly Sears was still operating. And I think even, Victoria's Secret and Gap were still functioning there too.
Sure.
But no, this is a great topic right now after what we just talked about, because it's like, okay, so here's an opportunity to do something as a city. What do we want to do? It's sort of a blank slate.
It is.
Where are we going to go? This will tell you everything about what matters to us as a city, I think.
It's kind of defining.
It's a defining moment. It's a defining moment. And even the fact that it
Scary
hasn't been developed. Yeah, it is scary because, and I try not to feel like I can control everything in the world. I've learned to accept that. Some developers are going to do things I don't agree with. People are going to do things I don't have any control over. But in this case, I don't know how much control we really have. But if I had control of it, I would suggest that we do a kind of retail that is more experience-based retail, that recognizes the importance of the internet. So maybe it's a smaller store where you can try, touch, and everything, and then you can order it online. I think we're going to need to be smart about the retail. I was talking to Frank Kretschy, who's the owner of Crossroads, who was that guy who really just went out and bought it. And I think he paid $9 million for it.
What?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was, I don't remember the year, but we're going on over 10 years.
For only $9 million?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a steal.
It was a bargain. $9 million, no problem.
Well, for him, I'm sure.
So for him it was a bargain. I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but I think he's able to take that risk. And so we went out and talked to him. He's got an office out in Elkhorn. Just sat down with him and talked to him about it. And he said, I'm glad it didn't work out because the retail that we had planned would not have been a good thing for as things have developed.
Interesting.
So he said that he was open to what could be done there. And then I've heard recently that Lockwood Development, the same group that did Sterling Ridge, is going to be developing it.
Cool.
So
Sterling Ridge is a beautiful place, by the way.
It's very unique. I think they use some creativity there, and which is good. So I'm hoping that they'll also be open to some creative ideas there. But like I said, my dream for there would be exactly the stuff we just talked about.
Sure.
That there be affordable housing mixed in with there.
Right.
and that there'll be condos, not just apartments.
Actual purchase.
And then of different values, of different levels, so that different people can buy. That there'll be shopping, but that it be tuned to the internet, like it'd be smart shopping, and
so
an
you keep
experience.
saying like tuned to the internet and like hands-on things. So something maybe like a second Apple store.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that was originally, because I'm so curious, I went out and met one of the developer. Like Krejci was the owner, but Yates was sort of going to be the developer on that project. So I went out and met him.
Got it.
And he told me that he
How'd
had
you
already.
meet these guys?
You just knock on their door; they're there. No, he brought out a
Good
whole
lesson.
display about a three-dimensional thing about what it was going to look like.
That is
Heck
cool.
yeah!
Huh.
So I took a picture of it. In fact, but one of the things that he was very confident about, that he'd established a good relationship with Apple, that they had wanted to develop a flagship store there, like big ones.
I was gonna say the flagship.
Something more like the
thing.
one that's there, the new one at Village Point, but maybe even bigger.
Right. Because we only have one. That's really ridiculous for Omaha's population. Because I don't think Lincoln has one, if I'm not mistaken.
No. My gut feeling about that was that the reason it took so long to get a bigger one out in Village Point, I was, in my heart, I felt that it's because Apple was holding out to do a flagship, and then when that didn't work at Crossroads, then they said, okay, then we're gonna have to do something, and we'll just do it where we can. That's my personal opinion about that.
I think that's logical. That makes sense.
Yeah. The other thing that was in the works that was going to be the very first thing that started building out there at Crossroads was REI. So if you've ever heard of REI.
Yeah, remind me what they do.
It's outdoor equipment, camping,
Yes,
sports equipment, and it's a cooperative, so it's owned by, everybody's a member. If you shop there, you become a member of it.
Okay.
You actually get dividends.
Sure.
And it's a huge store, but it's really, really cool.
How does it differ for those like myself that don't know what REI is? How does it differ than a Shields or a Dick's Sporting Goods?
I don't know the slight difference, but it is way more experiential in orientation. It's an experience.
Got it.
And I think it's just bigger and actually more geared towards outdoor, not so much not sports.
I got it, yes.
So it's more towards outdoor activities.
Okay.
So, and I did talk to Frank Krejci before he had discontinued the first effort on it. And I saw him out in the street, and I just said, Mr. Krejci,
Like, I have to stop you.
I'm sorry. He's like, what? And I go, just one quick question. What's going to be the first business that you have kind of lined up? And I remember at that moment, he told me REI. And I knew what REI was, and that's a huge step for Omaha.
Sure.
I think different types of retail is going to be important to put there. Maybe even some very high-end retail too. It's okay. But make sure that we have experiential retail too, where people can go there for an experience. I just wish I could control it. That it's like I think
we all do.
I mean,
At
it's
least
like
I do.
I mean, and I'm grateful for the developers who are willing to step up and do something.
Sure.
I think the next step for me really is to reach out to Lockwood and say, I've been around, I've done a lot of things. Would you listen to a citizen who has a lot of thoughts about this that could be helpful? You have good insight and you actually care. And if you care, that does touch people's hearts. If they see that you care, they usually want to hear from you, especially in Omaha. I think so, and they are local people. They are absolutely local. Okay. They're what other stores so? Is your vision to just keep it all Crossroads all retail then, or would you like to see maybe bars, restaurants go in more like a district like Exarban or Blackstone? Yeah, we need to develop. I mean, what I learned from being in Washington D.C. and what I learned from the recession is that they gravitate toward villages. It's how we're made up as human beings. We want a central sense of who we are and where we can go to be with other people. Sure. That used to be the enclosed malls, and that has waned. Right. Now what is it? And I don't know. Coffee shops. I feel coffee shops. I agree. I think that Exarban has created a little bit of that. It has. Hangoutness. So where it'd have to include something like that, where people can feel that that's a sort of like a village center. Sure. To create a village, like I said, a district in that area. Because you think about it, there's nothing that really holds 72nd and Dodge together. It's disparate. It's a hodgepodge of different things. Bowling alley over here. So wouldn't it be fun? Dew Space. I do like Dew Space. Dew Space, again, but it's an island. It is. So what can we do to bring all that together in such a way that is more of a village orientation, where people live, work, and play there? Right. We can do this. It's a blank slate. And at the same time, I really want to give a nod to Omaha what Omaha is and Omaha's history. I never want to just wipe something out like Mutual of Omaha did and then just create a sterile blank slate like that. And just, I think it's important to work with what we have. So my dream would be to uncover part of the original building there. I don't know if you ever saw a picture of the original Crossroads building.
No, I remember you telling me about this.
It has a butterfly
apparently...
roof. It's a great mid-century modern lines on it that were really, really cool. Maybe you could bring some of that back and then build on top of it.
So you were saying that the current Crossroads is already built on top of another
Yes, it was
building.
not torn down.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was not torn down. I suppose it possibly the Brandeis on the east end was maybe torn down or dismantled for the Target. But from Target West, that is still, the original mall is still there.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's really
So
bizarre.
wouldn't it be fun to play with that a little bit in the mid-century style? Again, with the idea that Omaha, we deserve a sense of space, a place, excuse me. We deserve a sense of place, who we are as Omaha. Wouldn't it be fun to make that a place where we can have a neon sign that has La Casa's Pizza right there? Or maybe someone could bring back the Italian steakhouse. We lost, there was one, couple
venison.
Yeah,
all the Caniglias. You mean? All their restaurants.
Again with a P, down on South 13th, no, South 10th Street. Darn it.
Oh, wait, we lost that?
It was you may not even have known about it, but there were so many. That's the thing. There were so many of them. But it was my grandfather's favorite place, and I can't remember the name of it. But
in the Little Bohemia?
Not quite there, but
okay, yeah, because that one's still there.
Sort of like around Martha and 17th, right down in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, but to bring something like that back there would be a lot of fun to do.
It would be cool.
It'd be a sense of place, what Omaha is.
Yeah.
So,
I like that perspective. It is kind of a blank slate. We can, name it Crossroads, Crossing, or whatever. Or we could
Crossroads Village.
Yeah, a nod to just something historic in Omaha.
Yeah.
I do like that about Blackstone. Is that they renamed that district after the Blackstone Hotel, which now they can't call it that because of some stupid hotel in Chicago apparently, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think it would be cool to see kind of a nod to Omaha's past.
And that would be tricky because if you think about it, the places where we're getting that past back, or we're not destroying it altogether, like Blackstone, like Benson, like Dundee, those were the old. That's old Omaha.
It is.
Crossroads really was new
Crossroads
Omaha.
was
That's
1960.
Yeah, that was this big, exciting new suburban thing. Wouldn't it be fun to just rein us in just a little bit and see if we can understand? I've always understood mid-century as adding some value to who we are as Americans, or just the sense of design, that freedom and spirit about, the new frontier and all that. How can we focus on that, maybe celebrate that a little bit there with the style that we use and the stuff that we build there, and create a village center there, kind of sort of reining in the sprawl of Omaha, saying, okay, this is going to be our line. Now you come in here.
This is the dividing line.
This is it. This is it. You come down here. And so it would be fun to create a situation where people begin to look at Omaha differently and say, wow, my own city, I like to go to Crossroads. I like to go down in there. I like what's developing there. And with the bus rapid transit orbit,
I'm super excited for that.
I just hop on, I'll park my car at Westroads and I'll just ride it right down there. So I think there's a great opportunity. I even had a crazy idea of bringing, do you know that?
Crazy. Let's hear it.
Drive-in, there used to be a drive-in there.
Oh, you did tell me this, yeah.
So wouldn't it be fun to kind of do this drive-in thing? Make it not quite as big maybe, but and then have the cars there already, like from that era. Yeah. They're all they're stationary. But they're all they're like beautiful restored models of those cars. They're like the old, like a car collection, right? That you can enjoy the car collection and also sit in them to watch the movies.
That would be super cool.
You have to watch your
Hollywood Candy has some old cars. Yeah, like that kind of feel, like a vintage.
But I understand when developers will come and tell us, well, but you have to understand, we have to have a profit margin. We have to watch costs and stuff. I get that. But let's see what we can do together and dream so that it's not just wiped out as a sterile,
do you think,
strip mall.
Exactly. Yeah, it definitely can't be another strip mall. Do you think that TIF money, this kind of brings in politics a little, I guess. Do you think that they could use TIF, Frank Kretschy?
Yeah, they're willing.
Could use TIF money?
Yeah.
the city would allow that.
Oh yeah, I mean the city that's people will blame the fact that it didn't work out this last time because the city turned down the TIF money that was requested.
Interesting.
But I think there's more to that story. I think in defense of the city, I don't think it was presented properly. And the developer that was working with Yates, probably there was something, he didn't do well there. I don't know what it was, but there's something he didn't do well.
Yeah.
I think any mayor wants everybody to be happy.
I agree.
So the mayor doesn't want to be known as someone who's saying no to things.
Right.
But I think particularly,
the mayor has a tough job.
She does. She has a really tough job, and particularly when you have so much pressure for suburban growth. That's been Omaha's thing for many years, and that's where the political power is. So particularly when she's got people on her back saying, you can't do for them what you haven't done for us. You can't give them some. So they're watching. So she's like, kind of like hinting at us, like, get this thing right, so I have a justification for giving this to you. But if you give it to me crappy, I can't do it because people are going to be on my back for not doing it right. So I think it's going to be a matter of presenting it correctly so that the mayor, whoever that is, can really justify what he or she is going to be allowing in the city. And it's not just the mayor's decision. There was a vote, but it's really depends on if the mayor is behind it and how the mayor is behind it. I think will make such a difference for the city. So yeah, I don't blame it all on the mayor. I don't blame it all on the citizens for just rejecting it. I think it probably wasn't presented as properly as it should be. But definitely TIF money's there. It's being utilized all the time. And this would be a perfect example.
The Centerline apartments got TIF money, and that I would not have thought would have been considered a blighted part of town.
Where was that?
It's right off the 72nd exit on I-80.
Oh yes, the Centerline. Yes. Oh yeah. Right.
And now they're saying that the Shark Club might get it as well. The old Shark Club right on the 72nd and Center.
No, that is blighted. There, that's pretty rough there. The Shark
Club.
Club.
Just across the street though.
I know, but that's a rough little corner there.
Yeah, just because of the line of business. I think before.
Yeah, it was just,
like an old bar, old hotel.
Yeah, it's not very nice. But I think that we need to be think big and what possibilities that TIF. Also, opportunity zones. I don't know if you've heard of opportunity zones, but that is thanks to the Trump administration. That is a way of building up underdeveloped areas, and to do that in a way that encourages development.
Okay.
And so that's maybe another.
Is that the federal
Yes,
TIF
federal money
thing that North Omaha just got not too long ago?
No, that was something different.
Okay.
This is
that was like a federal grant.
Yeah,
I remember hearing.
It was a grant.
Okay.
No, this is Opportunity Zone OZs they call them, and I'm not totally versed in them, but what I do basically understand is that those are they allow the governors or the states to designate which areas in their state should be opportunity zones. So the federal government does not determine that. The state does.
Sure.
But the federal government then provides, basically, I could start an opportunity zone account, collect money for development from people, and then with that money that I develop, if I develop something,
kind of like crowdfunding, development.
And there's huge tax relief on that. So and on the dividends that pay, you don't have to pay taxes on it and stuff like that. So I have to learn more about that, but
that could be huge.
It could be very huge, and that's my next topic for my own personal investigation. Yeah.